We will start the Board of Selectmen's meeting at 6:31, July 19th, 2012. John Mack's on vacation, so I will get the pleasure of running the meeting tonight. People need to keep me in line here, so. But we'll start out with the minutes of July 5th, 2012. I don't know if we can approve those because John's not here and you two guys weren't here either, right?
Right, we were present.
Does anybody have a problem with the minutes?
Well, I just read them, and as somebody reading them, right-of-way permit, it doesn't seem to imply where that is. So
That was on Parish Hill, right, Shannon?
Mm-hmm. It's just, you know, from
Yeah.
somebody outside not having been at the meeting, it'd be nice to put it
Oh, right.
a specific place.
Mm-hmm.
That was Parish Hill Road in South Newfane. Anybody got anything else? We can't approve them anyways, but we could be working on them if we have to make changes. Hearing nothing, I guess we will table the minutes till the next meeting when we have a quorum, although I won't be here the next meeting either, so anyways, whenever we get a quorum again for the 3 people that were here for that meeting, we'll approve those minutes. Road ordinance report, I do have one of those somewhere. John would like me to just kind of summarize it, he said, instead of reading the whole thing, so I'll try to do that. The roads are in pretty good shape. Because it's so dry, we're not grading the main roads right now because they're not holding, even with chloride on them. So we're holding off grading those. Most of them are pretty good anyways. We've been doing ditching, and we've been hauling Surepack, which is a type of gravel that holds really well in the hills, trying to get them to hold a little bit better. We have had some complaints about Hunter Brook Road, but I explained to the gentleman that until we get the bridge deck replaced, we really can't haul up there. Dan and I are going to get together probably next week sometime and try to get those bids out for that deck so that we can do something. Right now I've got a call into Mike Renault from Renault Brothers. He's supposed to be putting a couple of steel plates over where the damage is on that bridge so that we can go over it, because Allied Lumber has a contract up there and they were trucking over with log trucks, and I informed them that they shouldn't be doing that they'd fall through the bridge. But I told them we try to get the steel plates up there, and I've got to get a hold of Mike Renault and find out when he's going to do that. But we're going to be renting the plates until we get the deck replaced. It's about $1,000, but we'll have to take it out of bridge construction money for now. As far as the equipment goes, the 07 F350 is at Duran Ford for rear brake work again, and to be serviced. The rear brake, a lot of the rear brake work is going to be covered under the extended warranty, but it's still going to be close to $1,000. The grader is running a little bit better, but it still has a slight skip to it in the engine, so we're going to have to get that looked at again. The new truck, the new Mack truck, is going to be built the first week in August, and it should be at the dealers either the second or third week in August. And then it'll have to go to Tenco to have a body pound wing installed. We have to pay for the truck when it gets to Mack, and then we pay for the body when it comes back from Tenco. And I'm going to get into a little discussion about that truck, a little bit later. Stratton Hill slide, Shannon's gotten written permission from the landowners to do whatever we have to do up there to fix the slide. John Alexander called the other day, and he would like to get V-Trans started down there and have V-Trans actually try to come up with a plan on how to fix it. I told him we had SVE looking at it as well. I'm going to get a hold of SVE, find out what they've done so far, and if they haven't done anything, let V-Trans do it. He's also going to put Mark Pickering, which I think most of you know from District 2 V-Trans, the one that's been going around with John. He's going to oversee the whole project for us, which is great. That should help us out quite a bit because we're so busy with other stuff. As far as the tree cutting goes, Kevin Schrader is going to be here the 24th. That would be next week to cut those dead trees that we've been talking about. The paving on Grimes Hill is done. Lane Construction will be here tomorrow to put the shoulders down, or put the gravel down for the shoulders on the edges of the road. I've contacted the V-Trans by email to let them know that we can paint the center lines anytime now on all our Class 2 roads this year. The V-Trans only paints them for the towns every other year, but Newfane's got Dover Road and Depot, which are federal connecting highways. Those two get done every year, but this is our year to paint the rest of them, so they've been notified to go ahead and start doing that whenever they want to. And like I was just saying, Bridge 45, I've asked Mike Renault to put those steel plates on it. That is all I have. Is there any comments or entertain a motion on the road performance report.
I move to accept the road foreman and road commissioner's report.
Second.
The motion's been made and seconded to approve the road performance and road commissioner's report. Is there discussion?
Yeah, I have a couple of questions just again in reading this. When they're doing number 7, painting of the center lines, is that going to include our Cemetery Hill Road, that little piece in front of the country store?
No, because it's not class 2.
Okay, so what makes what type of road is that?
It's a class 3.
Okay, and because I think 2 to 3 months ago you were going to talk to Marilyn about that, because there's still that problem of people parking in front, but it used to be painted and it's just all worn out. So
That actually should be up to them to paint it. I can talk to her.
why would they paint road lines on a town road?
That's never had a road line there before. If there's any line there before, it was something they put there. It's nothing the town has ever done.
Okay, I'll check with Marilyn on that, because that's not the impression I had from her. And then Stratton Hill Slide, do we know who those owners are for just my own?
Shannon, you remember what their names are?
It's the family of, is it Nina Bailey?
Bailey.
Bailey's, yeah.
But she passed away, so it's her daughter. which is-
Cars?
Course, yes.
Yeah.
Yep, her daughter and her husband, the daughter's husband.
And then just on that Stratton Hill Slide, I was out looking at some property with Rob Allen from the state, and he said, while we're here, can we go up and look at that? So he went up and he said that Drew Adam, USDA Brattleboro, had suggested buying out, or not to buy out, but could we take part of the bank? We'd have to acquire that property, because both of them are thinking that slide, and of course, Mark and John know a whole lot more about it, but maybe from their perspective of doing a lot with bank stabilization, etc., that the slide, if we moved the road over, would probably heal itself, and that's the language he used, because they're layer and layer of, and then he said, if not, we're going to pull the whole thing out to stabilize
I
it.
talked to John about that, and he said that he thought that was not a viable option at all, because if we start cutting into that bank, it makes that bank steeper to come down the road. That bank's already steep. The farther over you go, the steeper it's going to be. And he said that doesn't stabilize what's already there, and then we're going to have the whole thing come down.
Okay, but
He
that-
says that he's sure that we can dig down, key it into the river, and then work up the riprap all the way to the top. It should be
okay,
fine.
so it would be riprapped,
Yeah,
and,
it's quite a project. He's figuring anywhere from 150 to 200,000.
yeah, and it's such a little part of the road thing
Yeah.
itself. Okay, but I just wanted to.
Can I ask a question on the dead trees?
Yep.
Do those include the ones on Newfane Hill Road in the town right-of-way up at Rickards?
No. There is one on Wildwood Acres and 3 in Sunset Lake Road Cemetery that are going to come down and take the gravestones down. I can look at those with you sometime if you want to go up and look at them.
I mean, it's not my property, but if they are going to fall, and parts of it already, as you know, parts of it already fallen down.
I'll take a look at it. Because you might be able to just top them and leave the rest of them there.
Yeah.
Something like that. The one down in Wildwood Acres is going to come down to somebody's house, so we're going to get that one down fairly soon. The problem is we never put money in the budget for tree removal. Something that we need to do this year. Just put probably $5,000–6,000 a year away to remove trees.
Now, are we also watching that red maple on Steepway?
I'd have to go up and look at it, I don't know.
Good.
That's probably the power company or cable company's problem.
Yeah, I mean, it's on the other side. It's a beautiful tree. I mean, it's as straight as they come, but it's like
Yeah.
almost 45 degrees or
We'll have to
whatever.
look at that too. But it's gonna hit the wires though, right?
Oh, yeah.
So it'd be the cable company probably.
But with the trees that are cut by the CBPS for that, and the tree debris kind of right on in the town right away, does CBPS clean that up?
Whoever is cutting trees is supposed to clean it up.
Because it seems that there are some trees, someone mentioned to me, that would then interfere with the road cutting, and
If we have stuff like that, that CV's done, we just need to let them know and they'll make the contractor go back and clean it up. Anything else?
With paving and with lane construction coming back tomorrow, Sandy Rouse mentioned that they had put like a stick so people wouldn't go down in, and all of that paving didn't cover that. And if
Where is
somebody,
that?
right, Grimes Hill Road, right down in the dip, and she said that hadn't been filled in, and she's afraid somebody's going to go toppling 20 feet down into the.
I guess I don't know where that is.
She said that it's just, and it's a gray building with a red roof. I was going to look to see. Anyway, she mentioned that today, so I'm wondering if what they're doing tomorrow might
It might
take
help
care
it,
of that.
depending on, because I don't know what she's talking about, but
It's right by her place, so we could get the number and we could
Yeah.
look.
anything else? Hearing nothing, all those in favor of the road performance report, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed, I will abstain. So it's 3 with 1 abstention. We have a right-of-way permit. That must be right here somewhere, application.
It's in that folder.
Yeah, Jeffrey Hayes.
Yep.
Would like to install a fence or stone wall described type dimension setback. Wood, 42 inches high, 1 by 6, which he's already put up there. And it is right in, it's very close to the road.
Very.
I guess that'd be up to you guys too, but I would, if we're gonna,
Someplace next to the covered.
Yeah.
Right after the
side.
covered bridge.
Yeah, I noticed it there.
I think that he should get a letter saying that we can approve it, but again, it is in the way for snow plowing removal, and if it gets broken, that he's gonna be responsible for that, because it's pretty close to the road.
Right.
Yep.
We do have a lot of snow over there all the time.
Is there a way to have somebody like that be aware that they can't do that?
I think we have a standard letter that goes
Yeah.
out for that, right?
He must have had, maybe somebody from zoning went over and saw him, I don't know.
No, the last time I talked to Katie, and I mentioned that she had no idea that had gone on.
Yeah.
So there was no permit, no nothing.
That
He's applied for a zoning permit now, though.
but he did not have one when he did it.
Yeah, but I could see how somebody wouldn't automatically think that they had to have a permit for
And that'd be
that.
something to put on our website.
They did do, it looked like they did a bunch of landscaping.
It's a nice job.
Yeah. Maybe someone from out of town did it.
I guess I would entertain a motion from somebody.
I move that are we going to accept this with a letter saying that, that if anything happens to the fence because of plowing, or that it's, the town won't be responsible for this? Damage, because it's in the town right of way?
Seconded.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the right-of-way permit of Jeffrey Hayes with a stipulation that a letter gets written on the same approval that the town will not be responsible for any damage done while plowing the roads in the winter. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Any abstentions? 4-0. John's not here, so. Now what do we have? Stratton Hill Slide, we pretty much just discussed that. Anybody got anything else? The truck loan, that was the part that I was going to talk to you about that was in the road performance report. I know we talked before that if we got the money from Lynch Bridge, that we were going to try to pay that truck off.
Yeah.
But Shannon said that we can't, if we take a loan on the truck before we get the money back from Lynch Bridge, you can't use that money to pay off a loan. So I guess we need to think about, do we want to try to, is there going to be enough money when taxes are paid, the first round, to pay that truck off, and then take the money from, if we get that money from FEMA, to put back in the account? Or do we want to take a truck loan out and not worry about paying the truck off?
I recommend that we take a truck loan out.
Number
It's a
3.
low interest loan,
Yeah.
and, with everything else that has to be paid, that first thing of taxes, I don't know if would cover
I don't know either without Maureen being here.
that.
Plus, we don't know what the state's gonna come back.
Right, we don't even know if that project's going to go through, so.
Right.
Right.
One other thing to consider is that you may not be eligible for a loan at this point because you have so much debt with banks.
That would not be a good thing.
I know. my last.
Is that something that you or Pat check into right off?
Yeah.
Let us know by the next meeting, maybe?
It's a drop in the
Let
bucket.
us know by the next meeting.
Kind of give us a recommendation of which way we should go with it.
Yep.
That would be a collateralized loan, so it may be different than
Right.
just a straight loan.
There is, how much in the capital fund this year for that truck, is it?
165?
I mean,
Well-
it's budgeted for 165, but,
We only pay, what, 75,000 a year or something?
right, and it's marked in the town report as borrowing 100%.
Ooh, that's not good. All right, if you could check into that and let us know the next meeting, that would be great.
I won't let you know at the next.
You probably won't, but Pat can.
Pat,
Yes.
Pat, you know that this has gone through Garby who's speaking, right?
Yeah, I know.
Right, but we're supposed to be asking
I forgot about that.
the unscheduled, or the members of the public to announce their name
Thank you.
when you speak.
Now we're to scheduled members of the public. It says none. Unscheduled members of the public, I believe Mr. Lilienthal's here. If you could just state your name for our new administrative assistant.
Peter Lilienthal. How about that? Huh?
That sounds good.
The reason I'm here is I'm cleaning up from the flood on our fields, and I have a lot of sand, and I don't have any place to put it. So I've filled up the low spots on our property and down by the brook. But it occurred to me that you could maybe use that on the property along the Dover Road by
Randy has his
the
little place.
house there, that little gray house. I think that's been condemned, and there's some stumps and trees out there. I have some pictures of it. And we could bring it down there and then spread it out, and that would cover all that rock field. I estimate there's probably 20 to 40 dump truck loads of sand, something like this. And they're 18 cubic yards per truckload. And I don't think it's very difficult to spread it out because it's all sand and some powdery mud stuff that adheres to it. And it would be done pretty quickly, and that would make that whole area look better. But I would need some guidance as to where you want me to start and put the loads of sand.
Yeah. Shannon, do we own that property yet?
Not yet.
So could we put that there? Or have to
Not yet.
wait?
You can't touch it yet.
I was just thinking about that.
Yeah. You,
How soon do you have to move it?
I'm ready to move it right now. I have the stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't own the property yet, though.
So we can't.
Who owns it?
Brunel's, and they can't touch it either. They have to leave it as is until this goes through.
right.
FEMA has to buy them out, or the town has to buy them out or something. How does that work, Shannon?
The town will be buying the property with funds from FEMA. But the property has to remain unimproved until it goes through. You can't be caught touching it at all. Doing nothing.
How long do we figure that's gonna be, do you know?
Oh,
Could be-
geez. It could be 6 months, it could be, I'm hoping no longer than 6 months, but
That throws kind of a monkey wrench in everything.
Wow.
Have you talked to Mike Fitzpatrick at all?
No.
You'd probably be able to take it up to his pit and dump it up there,
Yeah.
and maybe he'd let us store it up there. If we needed it at a later date, we could truck it back over there or something. That way you get it off your property.
Yeah, where's the pit? That's
Uh,
the
that-
one down here?
Velcro?
Yeah, the Velcro station, substation.
Yeah, oh, you go up that steep?
Yeah, instead of going to the right to the Velcro, you go to the left for Mike Fitzpatrick. His phone number's under Rebecca Jarvis, if you want to call him. It's not Mike Fitzpatrick on the phone, it's Rebecca Jarvis.
That's who I look up for.
Yeah. Then just ask for Mike Fitzpatrick. Tell him that I spoke to you about it, and I'm sure he'd let you take it up there and store it up there.
Okay.
That way,
But that town would then move it back and
Right.
to spread it.
if we get permission, otherwise Mike might be able to use it right in his pit, so.
Yeah, maybe he knows someplace who wants it,
Right.
Mhm.
you know?
He might, because that's what he does for work, so.
Yeah, okay. I'll see. So it's Rebecca
Jarvis.
Jarvis.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Do we have any other unscheduled members of the public? Hearing none, we'll move on to new business. That is Park City Realty parcel. That is a parcel that Marshall Glickman wanted us to look at.
If that's a moot point now, if you got the end of my email today.
I didn't get it.
Marshall is still handling that as the delinquent town collector, tax collector, so it's not an issue before the board at this time.
So we're going to table it.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So we will table that for now. Old business.
I've got some
Get some new business.
The Board of Civil Authority is going to have to meet for 3 tax appeals that came in by today, which was the deadline. And so I will be putting out a request, so we're part of the BCA, and I'll get it out to the others, just to let you know that Doris, we have to do it 14 days from today, and Doris is going to leave by July 31st maybe. So we've got to get this in before she goes, because that's pretty crucial for the listers to be here and be represented strongly. So anyway, that'll go out just to keep in your mind. It's got to be, next week or the Monday. I'm thinking Monday the 30th might be
She's leaving the 31st of
for
July,
vacation.
and we have 14, we don't have 14 days between now and the 31st.
No, it just has to happen before 14 days. So
I
if we
see.
waited for her to
Okay.
come back, we wouldn't be
Okay.
meeting the law. And then a second thing for the BCA, which I'll give to each one of you, is that we will be going into elections in August. At this point, the elections are underway. I sent out the town clerk sent out the absentee ballots and have already received several of them back. So we need to maybe go to training. The town clerk is required to go to one training every 2 years during presidential elections. So these are dates, and again, I will put this out to all of the Board of Civil Authority, but if you could choose one, Brattleboro will be on Tuesday the 9th. That seems to be the closer, unless somebody wanted to go to Manchester. And let me know, so that I need to register us. So that's pretty much it, but
So you're sending this out to the entire BCA?
yeah, it just came in this afternoon, late afternoon. So.
And you're recommending the meeting for the August 30th? For the,
July 30th
July.
for the tax.
Will this be in the middle of the day?
No,
No, the end of the day.
yeah.
Okay.
It could be like a 6 o'clock
Yeah.
hearing and
There are 3,
3 appeals.
so we need to, do we need to know that all 3 of the people who are appealing can be there?
They don't have to be there, but they will be told when it's happening. And so they can send in written testimony. For example, one of them, Connecticut, they could probably come up, but anyway, there's some out-of-state ones.
Okay.
And we really can't, we got to make sure that we have a forum for the Board of Civil Authority, and they're going to have to kind of bend to us at this point.
Well, do we tonight need to make a date and time specific so that could be warned?
No,
Okay.
but I'll need to warn it as soon as we know. And it has to be warned and everybody notified only 5 days before. So if we can make a decision by the beginning of next week, then it should fit the time frame.
John's not here either.
Right. And John won't be here anyway to look at it for the
Right.
BCA.
Yeah.
I'm going to be on vacation starting next Thursday for not coming back till August 4th or 5th, whatever that Saturday is, so
Next Thursday's what date?
26th maybe?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're back the 3rd?
Yeah,
26th.
whatever that Saturday is.
4th.
Yeah.
I just need
And
to-
Steve's going to be in charge of the road crew that week. His father's pretty sick, and they live way out in, I want to say it's out in Missouri somewhere, so he may end up having to go out there. If that's the case, I'll figure something else out. But right now, Stan Steve will be in charge of the road crew on Dawn. So.
Okay.
Is that it?
Yes.
The treasurer's answers to the select board questions, John never gave me that sheet, so
Okay.
maybe we should table it
I move to table
till the next meeting.
treasurer's answers to select board questions.
It was,
Part of it I
it
was
was in
going
an
to,
email.
I never got it.
well,
I didn't either.
actually, I think what it was, I was going to also talk to Maureen about this, about talking to us. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
You weren't here. I did say that I was going to talk to Maureen about it,
Okay, so,
but I didn't because I decided that I think it's better to have her talk to us when John's here.
Yeah.
So I
I'm in
didn't
favor of
hurry
that.
to call her.
Pat, could you put that on the next select board's meeting agenda for us, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
On this item, I got a
That's Gunther
question.
Garby, by the way.
Again. On this item, does the select board have any idea where we stand money-wise right now? How much money there is in the kitty cash, since we're not getting money in until the 15th of August?
money's been coming in, however.
Okay, but theoretically, the first payment,
Right.
mass payment, is 15th of August. Doesn't the select board think they should have a slight idea how much cash there is around at any one time?
Normally, she gives us a printout. It's monthly monthly. But she's been out on health reasons for 6 weeks, and we did get one for
We did,
June
I
2nd,
asked,
though.
yeah, I
Right.
asked Elaine to,
So it's probably a good idea to have Elaine print us out another one for July, or the end of July, or whatever, so we do have some idea where we stand.
Right, yeah, the problem
Yeah.
was we were doing the year end June 30th, so we were going through all these where we were over, under, and so on. So we're only to the middle of July. We do need to look at it again, but I don't think any of us are totally sure. I
Pat,
mean,
could
We
you
did see
on a
something
box.
2
ask
weeks
Elaine
ago,
for another
right?
update for the next meeting? Then we'd have some idea. And is Maureen coming back Monday?
yes.
So maybe Maureen can do it Monday for the next meeting.
Yeah, I think just a feeling, when Maureen comes in, it's like, returning from a very long vacation with
Right.
piled up things and
But
stuff.
she'll have 2 weeks to get it done, so
Yeah,
we should get it. That meeting I won't be there, but you guys will be there, so.
and usually with that report, Shannon would highlight like overs and unders and that kind of thing.
Okay, anything else with that? Hazard mitigation grant program update. No update, Shannon?
Yes, I have an update. I just don't want to come out. So we received notification from FEMA that things are kind of creeping forward, and they needed 3 documents signed by each of the homeowners. So I got those done this week, and the last one came in today, and they're signed, and they're ready to go back to FEMA. I had to redo the application for the 6th time because they changed their minds on how they wanted it again, but it's done and they have it, and so
all of them.
hopefully all of them are done.
Nice.
So hopefully
Great job.
moving forward, I
Nice.
really want to see it go.
She's pushing that, and the last is uphill in January. I mean, it's just been a
But it's
process.
going.
Yeah, it's great.
Emergency watershed protection program?
We are underway in terms of, I put and I didn't look at the reformer, but put out an invitation to bid. There are 4 emergency watershed protection programs that are going forward right now. We have the permission from the Army Corps of Engineers. The property owners are signing their documents. And we're going to go, Bill Van Fossen is coming down next Tuesday, and we're going to meet with the contractors here and go to the 4 sites. One is Fertino on Eddy Road. We have one, Peter Sullivan, at the kind of tip, almost, but not real tip, of Baker Brook Road, next to Donna Trumbull's. And we have Christine Iyer and Kevin Stupak. And there's a 4th one. Anyway, it'll come to me at some point, but they're kind of scattered, so we're going to go and look at that. I've asked for the bids to be in by 5:30 on June 30th so that we can open them, and I would really like to have somebody be here with me for the opening if somebody could volunteer to do that.
When is it?
What's the date?
June 30th, July 30th. Isn't it just June?
You're confusing.
That's the Monday after next.
That's the same day as the BCA meeting?
Well, we haven't said that
Maybe.
yet, but maybe. And this is just opening the bids.
Again, I won't be here, so.
During the day?
But it's 5:30 is what I have printed in the paper for them to
Okay.
have the bids due.
If we have the BCA meeting, I can be there.
Thank
If
you.
we don't, I have something else I'm supposed to be doing.
We have a couple of little snags, one on Bertino's property. We have to get permission from Prescott's to be able to go in on their side. And then we have one that just continues to be problematic, and this is one that should have been done in the fall, Benedetto's, and it still has to do with the septic system. So finally today, Rob Allen talked to Joe Benedetto. They're going to go back to Michael Marquez. He has to determine if the system has failed. If it's failed, then Benedetto will have to do something about it, put in a new system, whatever, prior to being signed off to go. So it keeps going, and the poor guy, seemingly it's going, and then it's not, and it's going. And today I presented to the Noontime Rotary Club presentation that I did, and I'm still trying to see if we can't get money for the Genesis Drive for the Lindgrens. So, we just keep going. They were denied from the federal standpoint for a waiver, and then I found out when Rob Allen was down here that I can request a mediation, and then if that doesn't go, it can be appealed almost like to a Supreme Court. But so we're trying.
Rob Allen is who?
Rob Allen is an engineer, state engineer.
Now, the stuff that you're doing is as a member of the watershed program, not as a select board or town clerk, or how does that work, Laura?
I was appointed whatever. I'm the signer of these
Okay.
documents for the select board.
Oh, okay,
Because
okay,
the town of Newfane's the sponsor.
okay.
Anything else? Lynch Bridge alternate project, there is no update yet. Town office improvements updates or anything?
Not really.
Well, I had.
Yes.
Yeah.
I sent you guys the, did you guys get the,
Yeah.
You did.
I
Kind
did.
of tell me what that is.
You have to guess. The report from
Sounds like-
Cornell. Installation, you didn't get this?
Maybe I did,
Okay.
but I'll have to check.
So, this is not necessarily a part of the town office improvement project, but it sure seems like it ought to be, but it's,
Isn't that the starting point? I mean,
well, part of it was
Yeah.
the
the office.
partitions, or, yeah. But, and I have no idea if, I don't know if you originally had any money budgeted for this. There is the money, isn't there insurance money for
Yeah.
the?
Yeah, there's capital money for the,
Yeah, we have two,
For the budget,
probably
too.
right now, what would you say, maybe $17,000 left?
was it 20,000?
There was one last year for 10,000 and one this year for 10,000.
Something
So
to
that's
ask
20.
Maureen when she gives us that
And-
statement,
Then we've got 2,700 and something
with the flood.
from the flood insurance.
Right.
I got a copy of the report. What I didn't get is what Farnham is saying. In other words, how much time, what the cost factors were. There was nothing on that I could see.
Right.
So there's no estimate been done
This is
yet?
just his assessment, which he's done so far with,
So maybe
we haven't
should go to the
made
next
any
step.
commitment to him so far.
Maybe
So,
we should go the next step and have them come meet with us with some prices.
I think so. I just didn't know if there was money or, you know,
There is money in the capital fund. It's split up for the supposedly town office in Williamsville Hall. I think it's grouped together for some reason, I don't know why, but,
but you're talking about also the office petition?
yes, that's what it was in there for, basically, was to get the office petitions done,
Right.
some furnace work.
And we had the furnace work, which isn't the best solution, but we went ahead and did that without replacing the furnace, so that was done last year.
But he's got down there that the ductwork downstairs is all crushed,
And it's
so
spewing up.
Okay,
maybe what we should do is, not next meeting, but the meeting after, so that I can be there,
okay,
get this guy in here,
all right,
go with it some more.
And then
If
we
you wanna work
also,
with Pat on that, maybe?
yep.
we also had Tom McCullough, wasn't it? I thought maybe he sent you a copy. He came in, he restores windows, and he could restore, caulk, do whatever of these windows for $265 a window. So that's about less than $5,000.
Mm-hmm.
And what he would do is he'd take them, he'd strip them, he'd make sure the ropes in these are not the right size, but to me, and
Can you give us
that would
a,
make it,
Printed proposal,
I have that.
so when we talk to this guy, then we can, might include that conversation with that.
And I think it was almost, they knew each other, and so he said to Tom to get in touch with me anyway. But,
So as of, it looks like we've already used 5240 as of the end of May on the 10,000. So I think that what we really need
Over
to do is,
$5,000 has been used?
it looks like 5240.
ceiling, I mean, the roof, the slates in the roof, that was part of it.
Yeah,
Part
we
of
had to
it was
rewire
the
something here.
fixing the furnace.
Yeah.
We had to rewire for the air conditioners, we bought air conditioners last, with some of that.
Yeah,
I think.
we had all of the electricity work done prior to the air cons.
And you were saying there was 10,000 done last year. Is there a different line item on that, Gloria? Because I'm only showing 10,000 of which, as of May 9th, we had used up 5240. That leaves us 4760.
Is that in the capital though?
And now,
Well, that's what I was asking. I believe it is actually.
and
Should
Yes,
say
it
right.
is.
starting July 1st, we have another 10,000.
Okay, because it was budgeted for this year.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
So we have basically 15,000 plus the insurance money.
Okay, so then the other thing is getting, I don't think you were here last week when no, it was you, you weren't here.
And she was,
Oh, okay. The plans for the partitions. And, I mean, the next step for that is getting some bids, just to figure out how much we'd be running into. So I'm wondering if I should ask a few contractors to give us a price. Does anybody have anybody? I mean, I thought I'd ask Bill Morris and a couple other local guys.
Greg Miller and Guy Wachtel and
Yeah,
Okay.
get together with whoever,
Okay,
if we can have that done, so we try to do this all
okay,
together, that'd be good.
yeah.
Anything else? Hearing no, nothing. We'll move on to comparative salary wage analysis project, no update it says.
No Morris.
Hunter Brook easement issue, discussion and signatures, it's these, have you all seen these agreements? They're all supposedly sent via email.
Yeah.
You all get them. Does anybody see anything that doesn't look right?
No.
Does anybody have any reason not to sign these? Hearing nothing, I need to have a motion made then.
is that just Maureen's or?
I
no,
believe it's both.
Gordon's?
Torquilites,
2.
And we didn't do
Yeah.
anything with
Torquilite.
getting the town, bridge with Gordon's, septic pipe that we approved for them to put through there.
You mean written statement back from that?
Well, somewhere it's gotta be that they're responsible for the repairs. So at this point, the only thing that's out in the public is that the select board approved for that to go.
Shannon, did you ever get that done, you know?
On what?
Graham Gordon's land up on South Wardsboro Road, remember Clark's wanted to, we talked about Clark's putting the septic drain, attaching it to the bridge.
It's written right into their permit that they're responsible for.
Gloria said she needs it for land records though.
Well, yeah, is it something, I would think, in the same way that it was with Murch's, that it's gotta come to be recorded? Does a town clerk record those, Shannon, or is that something that goes in?
Not
your-
normally.
I think it would be a good thing.
It's not a bad idea, but
Mm.
yeah,
It's signed though by them.
it's right, yeah.
I mean,
And
we
then their
approved it.
application is signed too, saying that they're responsible.
Do you sometimes put those as an addendum on file rather than it like being a deed?
Yeah, I have them all in this file here.
Shannon
No,
has
but it would be 20 years from now when something goes wrong with it, and Shannon's not here and I'm not
Mhm.
here.
On the deed or
So
whatever.
usually,
Yeah.
something I would think that the Gordons need to maybe do an addendum to their deed,
Mm-hmm.
so that
Absolutely.
it's there, and then the lawyers go through and they say, here it is. It's just a little bit too
Yeah.
goosey-goosey.
Well, who's gonna take care of that then?
If Shannon can get me a copy of it, then I will, as town clerk, pursue find out what needs to be done. I think it,
Can you do that, Shannon?
Well, maybe between you and Pat, you can kind of work out a protocol for
Yeah.
doing this.
if
From
it
now
comes
on.
up again, yeah.
I want to make a
Anything.
motion that we, unless there's any issues with those, that we sign these documents this evening for the Hillbrook easements for Maureen's and, how do you pronounce that?
Torcoletti.
Torcoletti.
I'll second that.
There's been a motion made and seconded to sign the agreements with, for easements for Maureen and the Torcolettis. One thing I did see here before we go any further is this one has to be signed by John Mack, Chairman of the Board of Selectmen, but we can authorize him to do that, I guess. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed, or anybody abstaining? 4-0. Is there any discussion? We don't have any discussion, right? We just discussed. We just discussed. But this one here for, see, it says by John
Yeah.
Mack, Chairman of the Select Board, so I'm assuming being legal that he has to sign that?
But I think in his absence, you're the vice chair, and I mean, I hate to wait another 2 weeks.
What do you think, Shannon?
Yeah, I think that's perfectly fine.
I do, yeah, I do
To sign
too.
it as vice
You,
chair.
you signed it as vice chair.
We don't have to sign it as a board anywhere?
Apparently not.
All right, remind me when we get done, I'll sign it.
And then when those get done, they need to go to the town clerk for recording.
And just to, as far as, I don't know if it was under old business or not, but the question about the
Bridge.
temporary bridge, purchasing that.
Yeah, I talked to, actually, the bridge inspectors have been around, they were actually inspecting the covered bridge today, I caught them, because they do bridge inspections every 2 years, and this is our time for them to do it. So I asked the inspector to go up, take a look at the temporary bridge up there at Hunter Brook, asked him what they felt about it. He hasn't gotten back to me, but when I spoke to him up there, he said he didn't feel, from what he's seen before, that bridge is, the abutments are secure enough. So I asked Dan about it, because Dan's the one that pretty much designed that, and Dan said he would not put that as a permanent bridge. That there's no wing walls on the abutments, there's not enough scour protection on the abutments, and he said, you're asking for trouble. And his feeling was if FEMA was willing to pay for the new bridge, let him pay for the new bridge, have a brand new bridge sitting there. He did say that we could leave the abutments there. If they wash away, they wash away, and if they don't, and we have another problem again, the abutments would be there. So,
Once the new bridge is in,
take the old
leave
bridge off.
those abutments, does that impact this easement that we just, wasn't that all supposed to be cleaned up?
Yeah, was that supposed, were those supposed to be removed, or was it just the cleanup of
Just
debris
the,
around
the
it?
way I took it, it was just the banks, get
Yeah,
them back and seated the way they're supposed to be. There's still abutments, the old abutments on her property, just below the new temporary bridge, they're still sitting there. It wouldn't really affect either one of their properties, it's right at the river edge. but we could talk to them and see.
Is it-
It's gonna take quite a bit to pull them up out of there.
But these abutments really are not those like in the river itself.
Right, normally if you take the abutment, it's like this, and you have to put wing walls out like this.
Mhm.
So if something hits it, it doesn't push it over, and that was never, we never did that, because it was gonna be temporary, so we didn't put a lot of money into it. Speaking of which, we haven't heard anything from SVE at all, Shannon, about their bridge design?
No, not yet.
Yeah, we need to call them.
So do
Who's
we
gonna
need
call them,
to,
Todd?
Pat, call them, or I'll call them, one or the other.
It's just
So
that
the
we
Vermont
know.
Engineering,
so, and also just in response to the letter from, Maureen, do we send her a
probably send
letter
her a letter back.
saying
Yes.
something, so
acknowledge
Pat,
the fact that, could you draft a letter to Maureen just stating that, Dan Hull, and we've had V-Trans look at it, they've got back to me, but Dan Hull feels it's not appropriate to leave that temporary bridge there as a permanent structure, and that you guys want to vote on it, so that we can say that the selectmen
Yeah,
voted on this.
that's-
or-
Yeah. I vote.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we write a letter to Maureen explaining that the temporary bridge is only temporary because the abutments weren't built to state standards,
yeah,
and it would not be good to leave it there, so we're moving ahead with the new permanent bridge being placed where the old bridge used to be. All those in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstaining? 4-0, John's not here.
But just something about that bridge. Frank Saponsky came in the other day and he said that the engineering plans for the bridge were in. So,
No. No, they're
anyway,
not.
that was his, anyway, he was, when it comes in, he was concerned about the same way that they did for the Green Iron Bridge, going down with these that
Pilings.
pilings, that could we make sure that we do that? Because he doesn't want his property again. But anyway, that's not in and we're not opening them, so I don't know where to get that idea.
Is there any other old business?
Yeah, Todd, I have a question. In the minutes prior to the last one, June 21st, and so I wasn't here to say anything about these at the last one. On page 3, you brought up the animal control issue. So right now I'm going to kind of back off from being select board and being town clerk. My tendency when I'm confronted with something as though I was interfering with George Friend, who it says you said he expressed frustration, and in the recordings you also said he was about ready to quit because, to be blunt, it was my interference. I talked with George and I said, you know, can we talk about this so that I know what's happening? And he said he never talked to you about it.
He did. You may not remember it, but he did.
So that's a, you know, kind of a situation. And he said his main concern was that one communication which happened to do with the dog bite. So this seems as though one or the other of you's not telling the story. And that concerns me as the town clerk, that for 8 months the previous year, he was not the animal control officer. And legally, he would not ever receive that list until July 1st. But I gave him the list to work on before that. So as the town clerk, I was really taking care of making sure that dogs were licensed. We didn't have an animal control officer. So, you know, there might be a few patterns that if at another time you might suggest to him or anybody that they come and talk to me, we can work that out without it becoming a public admonition to the town clerk. Thank you.
That is fine. I think George has done a good job.
No, he's done an
And,
excellent job.
The letter from the Humane Society was pretty nice letter that we got from them.
Yep.
Anything else under old business?
I don't know if this is old business, but the situation with the, we now have an acting zoning administrator,
Mhm.
and he's working What days, is he
He's doing
working
Tuesdays
the same
and
days?
Tuesdays and Thursdays from 1 to 5.
That would be, for people that don't know, Merle Tessier has taken over that position until Katie can get back, if she does come back. He's working with Pete, right? Pete Van Loon?
Pete came in, but he was in by himself today, and he actually presented me as the town clerk with his first issued zoning permit.
So we're very lucky to have him step up to the plate with that.
Dr. Garby, can I comment on that? Isn't John Feifel the acting zoning, or has resigned from that?
Resigned.
He resigned.
Oh, okay, so that position is open. So,
He was asked about it, and he said he doesn't feel well enough to do it.
Yeah.
okay, now this new fellow, Tessier, he couldn't be the permanently acting, he has to be temporary?
Well, it's
He's an acting zoning administrator
Right.
now.
So that's his title?
Yeah,
Yes.
the statutes don't allow for an interim one, which is
Okay.
what we would have said. So he's acting. Katie has asked for a medical leave,
Okay.
and so he's acting zoning until she returns.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Maybe he can be her assistant once she gets back. It would be good to try to keep him there. Okay. Anything else on your old business? Hearing none. Unfinished business. No update on the park and ride. And it says no update on the Rock River Shack.
May I bring up the Rock River Shack?
Sure.
Why is that still even on this agenda?
It hasn't been actually
Hasn't been.
removed yet.
Hasn't been removed.
He acknowledged the letter though, right?
Yep.
He said he was going to take it down? Or?
Okay,
All right. So it is in the works.
okay.
Shannon, this maybe was new, maybe old business. Dan Hull, did we need to talk about that possibility or wait until he comes back with more information?
I would wait until he knows what his schedule is going to be like.
Anybody have anything else on your unfinished business? No administrative assistance report.
Can I ask how, Pat, how you're doing? And you said that, and Shannon is here for 4 more days, is that right?
That's correct, yes. We've been working on a lot of the projects. We're trying to touch base on everything that's going to be covered within the next year, whether it's a monthly, weekly, or daily issue. So it's coming along, and just hope that I can keep up to what Shannon has done. She's
You've
done a
taken a lot
great
of
job, and she's been a great worker. She's just done a lot for this town.
Shannon, come here a minute.
Yes.
On behalf of the Board of Selectmen, I personally would like to thank you for all that you've done for this town. And I've thoroughly enjoyed working with you. You've been a big help, and you're going to be missed. So I'm going to put that on public record that I'm sure the board certainly appreciates what you've done for the town.
You're welcome.
Good luck with your new adventure.
Yeah,
So,
really.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shannon. Good
You're
job.
welcome.
And happy birthday tomorrow.
Yes, thanks.
Yes.
I'll be 29.
Nice. That'd be very nice.
Thank you.
And welcome aboard, Pat.
Thank you.
We're up to correspondence.
Letter.
Why aren't we going fast?
Todd has asked me to handle the correspondence. Let's see, from Collegiate Video. Hi Shannon, I apologize that this is coming to you a little later than usual. I've been so busy. Anyway, we're holding our 5K fundraiser for the school again on Saturday, October 6th. And would like to get approval from the board to close the southern end of River Road again from 8:45 to 10:30 a.m., I guess. We will again notify all homeowners and businesses on River Road and put up the appropriate signage. Thanks again, I appreciate your help with this. So,
We need a motion to approve of this.
I move that we allow it's not Collegiate Video who's doing it, it's the
It's
the
PTA or
PTO
Yeah.
PTO
fun run.
to be able to close off the southern end of River Road during the time specified in the request on that date.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second to approve the request that we just received from them. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed or abstaining? 4-0.
Okay. From George Friend, this letter is in response to the findings issued on June 20th, 2012 regarding a hearing for a dog bite complaint initiated by Stephen Auburn Chaplin. The conclusion and decision section of the findings require me to inspect the premises of Susan Nichols at the close of the 14th day of this order to ensure compliance with the Select Board order. On July 5th, 2012, I arrived to Susan Nichols' property at approximately 5 p.m. unannounced. Tack and Tuck were in the house and Charlie was secure outside in his new enclosure. The enclosure was all aluminum fencing and had interior arms on top to keep Charlie from climbing out. New heavy livestock pads were placed on the ground so that Charlie could not dig out. I was given a receipt that showed a custom cover had been ordered and paid for that would cover the enclosure. Unfortunately, the cover was still in back order status. Charlie now also has a choke collar when being walked. I will check back in about 30 days to ensure that the cover has been installed and that the conditions continue to be in compliance. I will report back to the Select Board if there is non-compliance only. Good?
Good.
Very good.
This is something from the state of Vermont, and Shannon has written, town is already recipient of 2012 grant of VTrans, looking for proposals for the creation of a small park and ride facility, and so this is the park and whatever thing.
Yeah, it's a new one for this coming year, but we're already a recipient from last year, still finishing up, so.
And will that,
Unless you have another parking lot that you want to make into a park and ride, I don't.
you could do mine
At my
right
office.
from my home.
It would be paid. Okay, so we don't need to do anything with this? We don't need to resubmit this grant or
No.
application?
I don't think so.
Okay.
And what's the timing on that, Shannon, in terms, do they contact us to say we're ready to go?
Yep.
Okay. Well, good.
Okay. This is a letter from someone named Blake Lamoth from Palmer, Massachusetts, the chairman of the Palmer Redevelopment Authority and Central Corridor Rail Coalition. And do I have to read the whole thing here?
You can summarize it.
It's a resolution about allowing your constituents the ability to take the train from Palmer to travel to Vermont through the Four Seasons to see cultural attractions. Also travel in New London ferry system. Rail line runs as far north as St. Albans, Vermont, where there are buses running to Montreal. This resolution will seal the deal for our transportation corridor. We believe resolution will put forward the legislators will have no choice but to follow as well. Radio program. Recommend any town involved for putting a memorandum together. Good way to move government bodies forward. However,
Doesn't seem like that affects us, so there's no rail.
Shannon, are you familiar with that at all?
No.
Are they just asking us for like a memo of support?
Be careful of that, because there's no railroad bed up through here.
Yes, I just,
continue.
I don't know what they want
I
from
don't
us.
know either. I think if he wants something, he should.
Well, whereas it's something about it is and shall continue to be the policy of this municipality to take all actions necessary to support the commencement and/or expansion of passenger train service in and to this municipality and other areas of Connecticut, Vermont, Massachusetts. It sounds like it's been sent to every town in Connecticut,
We
Vermont,
don't have
Massachusetts.
rail
We
system.
don't have rail service, so I would ignore it, but
Right.
Could we just have a quick note back to that and just say, since this doesn't apply to Newfane, there's no support? Sometimes when correspondence comes in, it's really nice to have that answer go back.
Yeah. I mean, to just say, good luck with your project.
Yeah. That'd be something we could ask Pat to do.
Little note, Pat.
Little note.
Thanks. Something for V-Trans, looking for applications for new projects under the bike pedestrian program. I'm happy to announce we're doing so this summer. I think, isn't this the money that the West Street project was done with?
probably.
Same thing. Is there anything that we would want to do with that?
I can't think of anything. We don't have any money in the budget for it anyway.
Projects with the following emphasis would be considered favorably: facilities that address the documented safety concerns such as a high crash location, connectivity to other bicycle and pedestrian facilities, proximity and access to and within village centers and downtown areas, facilities that serve as multiple uses, accesses to businesses, residences, and schools. I
Are they
mean, nothing
wanting
like
to give us
Dover
money?
Road wouldn't have any, would, no.
I don't think so.
I mean, are they suggesting they have money for us to apply for?
It's probably a match, so most of their stuff is a match. I mean, you have to talk to the school about it too. You could send it to the school board, see if they've got places. But
This is not a block grant, but rather a reimbursement program. Successful application will be expected to enter a grant agreement with V-Trans that will lay out respective responsibilities as a project. Must be developed in accordance with
I'm wondering, like Brattleboro didn't use something like that, where Putney Road, they suddenly took out one of the lanes and it's become a bike.
Right.
We don't
right.
really have.
No,
we don't have really
We
room for
don't.
it.
no. So,
I would just say at this point we table it, or
okay.
Well, I'm not even sure tabling, I don't think
we're not really
we can
interested in it.
respond.
There's nothing for us,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, these people again. What have they asked? Is Planet Aid asking us to put out a box? I know that I looked them up on behalf of the select board years ago, and we decided against doing it. And I recommend that we decide against doing it again.
Okay. Is it, do you remember why? Did it just seem that they weren't really legitimate, or?
They, well, back then, and I don't know what it is now, but the things that I read were that 90% of the income went to the administration.
Okay, then
Yep.
absolutely not, yeah.
As I say, I don't know if that's still the case, but there were even other problems, just that, like, when the box was full, there was stuff left all around, and then, you know,
Riverbend had that.
who's responsible for it.
I think they
Get rid of
still
it.
have, but I don't think it's that
Yeah, it's
organization.
that, I
It
think.
is this,
But they still have it up to
Yeah.
Riverbend.
As long as it's up there, then we don't need another one.
yeah.
We certainly don't need any more mess around here.
Yeah,
Oh, sure.
that's it.
Okay. Pay orders, I guess.
Okay. You have to sign that.
What am I signing? This chair's gonna spin its body here.
you want me to read it?
Yes.
I may have printed it.
Either else
think
wanna-
that's-
Gloria.
What?
If he signs this, isn't this his signature? See how John
Yeah,
personally, that's a
appeared.
notarized
But
signature.
you could cross it out.
Are
Hi,
you
Gunther,
willing
thanks
to,
for
can
coming.
you notarize
Night
this?
call.
Okay, so she would notarize it
I'm
for
gonna
you.
sign it, you're gonna cross it out, and make the corrections.
Yes.
And literally on legal documents, if there's a correction that's done by hand.
Right.
There should be two of them that we have to sign, or I have to sign. This must,
Didn't spell John Mack's name right anyway, so.
this is for Maureen to sign.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
Maureen's
This
signature.
one is too.
Yeah, there's the easement and that's the agreement part. So,
There should be two for Torcoletti somewhere.
right.
Whoever wants them.
Are they're not on the other pages.
Well, I printed out my own today, because I didn't know if they were.
Yeah, this is Torcoletti's.
Yeah, I don't wanna get mixed up.
So, as soon as you, let's see. So Mo has to do that, and so, 19th day of July. And then you sign it, and then I'll sign as the notary.
Oh my gosh.
Gloria, should he write vice chair, comma,
Yes.
yeah, comma, vice chair?
I put vice above,
Yeah, it ended up being right in my name. Yeah, I'll just cross it out.
yeah. Then I'll-
I'm not real clever.
On this document, as I look, there's a space left, town highway number, and this is actually a Landon Hickey Road?
Hickey Road is town road, yeah.
Yeah, but the name of it is Landon Hickey.
That's what I know. It's always just been Hickey Road.
Copy and paste mistake.
You know, I don't.
Maybe,
Yeah,
Maybe it is that
We
way
can-
officially on town record, I don't know.
It's town highway number 69.
and is there any Landon in front of it?
There's Hickey.
yeah.
Okay.
It's probably his boilerplate that he uses.
Okay, vice chairman and 18th. That one. I'll finish putting in Todd Lawley. Okay, that. And on this. Gives a bigger space for the 19th than it does for July. I'm glad it's not December.
Yeah, really.
And these two go with it.
Yes.
Oops.
Those two go with it too, Larry. You send that to them, is that what's gonna happen? You have to
Uh-oh.
stamp it, or notarize it. You can bring that up if you want.
I think she could just sign this on Monday when she comes in and then I'll,
Yeah. I'm gonna leave it with you then.
okay.
This
Unless
was
you want me to
in
look
my
back.
box? These were in my box? Did you guys have these in your box too?
I don't think so.
No? Oh,
You're special.
okay. Well, it looks like it's correspondence from Sullivan.
Westover
and Brown.
Road.
Town Highway 2.
I'll write that.
This is,
Those are
yeah,
paired.
I'm not gonna,
You can't sign those.
I'm not gonna sign the payroll.
I want to make sure I got that right. So there's three here.
Okay, what I'm gonna need to do too for this, and if it's okay with everybody, is that there's no book and page number in here, though I'm sure they had that information, but we need to.
We'll let you insert it after the fact.
Is that okay?
Yes,
it's fine.
absolutely.
So Highway 2, book and page number. And this one's mine, Bernie has to sign that. And I'll seal that.
So Shannon and Pat, there's a letter, a June 28th letter from Sullivan and Powers here, scope of services. Is this their contract
Yes.
for us? And we're supposed,
Per last meeting, did you not? Yes, I was
Yeah.
authorized and I set up the audit for October 22nd to the 26th.
Right, because we wanted to get it done
Exactly.
earlier this year. Do we have to sign, I thought we were still under contract with them for another year. No?
I don't believe so. Shannon couldn't find it.
I couldn't find it anywhere.
I don't think so. I think this is an annual contract. Every time prior to the audit, this is what you will get. Here's your scope of services. Here's what we intend to perform. And I don't have any understanding that we have more than a 1-year agreement on that.
Is this, how much money is this?
14.9.
Is this something we should be putting out to bid? I
At
don't wanna
this
throw a
point,
monkey wrench
with
into
the
it.
In the
FEMA
future.
situation, our
Right.
concern is
Sure.
there's only a limited
Right.
number of them, and we've got to get in on this year.
All right,
Um,
I agree with that, but I think next year we should put it out to bid.
I do too, absolutely,
As soon as their audit's over,
absolutely.
like June or July 1st, we should put it out to bid.
Mm-hmm,
Or you can even do it earlier than that.
Yeah,
Just-
let's start before that.
right, exactly,
Just put it on next year, so they have to start July 1st and so on.
right.
I have
Covering
3
budget.
pages for Marine and only 2 for Tara, was that correct?
That's all I had.
So Pat, that's another note
Because
to
I,
make.
one of those is saying that we're paying
Remind
her
us
$300
about
per
that.
month.
Okay, so that's that, yeah.
Right, I mean, I'm just asking,
Yeah, I found it here.
because I printed off the ones from the computer today, it's the same way. Just, I want the ones I printed off, just to make sure.
Yeah, let's just see if I've got easement deed for the bridge construction.
Those are the ones that were on the computer,
Okay, so actually, these are 2 separate
at
documents.
least so.
One's an agreement for the
Payment,
payment.
and the other one's
Easement.
easement.
Yeah.
Because we already, I believe we already paid Torcoletti's. We were supposed to have.
We didn't pay them.
We haven't paid them yet?
No,
We had moved to have that payment,
but you can't pay it without the easement paperwork,
Right.
because it would be like just handing her $5,000 for nothing.
Right,
have
so
her say that
we're
she
ready to
won't take
pay
it.
her.
Right.
phew,
She has to sign off, then we pay. Same with Maureen. then.
Should we, as part of the pay orders, sign this agreement for this audit?
Well, we should get it going, for sure.
yes.
Do we have the money in the budget?
Yes.
If we don't, we gotta do.
Well, no, it is budgeted,
It's budgeted 15,000.
15,000,
So we're just
As
under.
compared to the 10.
just,
All right.
yes.
Do we need a motion? You wanna make a motion just so it's official?
I make a motion that we sign and return the agreement with Sullivan and Powers to do the current audit for this year, October, for the fiscal year 2012.
12.
Second.
Been a motion made and seconded to sign the agreement with Powers for the audit for 2012, year 2012, and it'll be done in October of this year.
I just,
Any discussion?
yeah, were we able to get any clause in there that said, you know, you delay, you lose $5,000 or something? I mean, I remember you brought that up.
Right.
It's like we were late last year because of the flood, but no reason for us not to get it until June.
Right, it was embarrassing at town meeting.
In my discussion with Sullivan and Powers, that was the whole purpose of pushing this very quickly and slotting this, even ahead of Maureen coming back. I think I was pretty clear with Rick Brigham that we need these documents, that the public has a right to know what this audit is prior to town meeting, and that we expect it to be done.
Does Maureen know this?
No. Well, I think she's had a CC on an email, but I haven't discussed it with her.
Okay.
So we left it open because Maureen is not yet back into position, that if Rick, or if she wasn't ready for Rick on the 22nd to the 26th of October, that he would push the date back into the early part of November and
So-
schedule her in for that.
Should we put a cover letter there with the board, putting it on record that we expect this done?
That's a good idea. Or as per the agreement, or,
Right.
as we've discussed,
Mm-hmm.
or you
You
discussed
can even
with
put down as
Chris
for a town meeting,
Yeah,
people requested that this gets done this year. And that we expect that this will get done this year. This is one of our goals for this year. to
In a
get this done.
timely manner prior to our budgeting.
Well, I would keep it with the dates that she's got unless Maureen changes it.
I'm just saying that
Right.
the report has to be out by.
That right there will be the only thing that could tip this in terms of how much of a delay we have on our own end. That's the
Right.
only concern that I have. So by already pre-setting this, as soon as Maureen gets back in here next week, she knows now this is when our audit is going to occur. That should give us ample time, even during that budget process, to kind of work with this whole thing, is my hope.
I would hope that she would notify the board if she's gonna change the
well,
date.
can we stay in contact with her about this? I mean, could we ask you to
Sure.
stay in
Follow
contact
through.
with her about how it's going?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the other thing is, second taxes are due on the 15th of October, isn't that true?
Yes, I believe so.
So, but I think with that, if we can get Elaine and
Yeah.
whatnot, I mean, things can be done.
Yeah.
My thought is I might retract my motion. Okay, since I've already penned into the schedule, maybe it would be a good idea to allow Maureen to take a look at this contract, before we all sit and sign this, and have this prepared for the next meeting.
As long as it gets done by the next meeting, so we don't put it off very far.
Right.
It doesn't push back the timing that we
No, he's
discussed?
got us in
Okay.
there, and I can certainly call him and say, look, we won't be able to get the signature on that document, but we intend to do it, so that'd
Okay.
be
I
easy.
think that's a
Well,
good-
there are 2 copies here.
Okay.
And we're gonna table this till the next meeting.
I think we should, what do you think?
Right.
Yeah.
Just that Pat needs to put this on the schedule for the next meeting.
Yeah, for the signature on this, and I can get a hold of them and let them know what the
It should probably
situation
go in
is.
John's mailbox, so he's got a chance to read it. Or you want
Okay.
correspondence or?
Now we can write on, we should tell them what.
He comes back on the 2nd, so then we'll be here for the next.
Mm-hmm.
And a copy of this should be set out on Maureen's desk so that she's also aware.
Just depends on, I think Elaine has kept pretty good, so it's not piled up like that.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how to just make sure it gets flagged or, with a nice little bright sticky on it to just say.
Heads up, here it comes.
Yeah,
Can we ask that it comes from Pat and Shannon?
Yeah, that's what I would do.
yeah. Maybe.
I mean, maybe there are some things that you guys need to touch base with her on when she returns.
Actually, I have a whole folder. for
Yeah,
her
so this could be one of those things.
Yeah, I agree.
to Put over there.
Both things together.
Okay.
I'm gonna put that right away.
So, Chief Friendly withdrew her motion. Did you have a friendly withdrawal of the second? Whoever has.
Pseudo-friendly.
Pseudo. Yeah.
Okay.
So that doesn't even need to go.
So we're gonna table that till the next meeting. I believe you have one more thing there.
I do. This is like deja vu.
You're
Didn't we already
recording,
see
aren't
this?
I think there was an explanation, we were expecting an explanation from them as to why.
I
It
think
was-
I saw this before. It's the Union Hall rental notice from the Incorporated Village of Newfane. And it's the fuel oil for the town meeting per the village trustees, and the total is $349.74.
For 2
And-
days.
And there's an explanation here that Shannon spoke with with Bob Litchfield, and the heat had to be run for longer than just the day of the meeting because it takes a few days to heat it up, and this was their cost. And, I mean, this is one of those kind of things that when the town votes to have the meeting in a building that
Is
isn't
not
heated
open.
during the winter, and we have to open it up, and, these are the kind of things that I don't think people understand. The place is a little too small,
I mean,
sounds bad,
But that day, when we had it
and it costs money.
as an article, I stood up and said, but it's going to cost the town money. And the voters who were there said, that's how it goes. Without it having been part of any budget prior to that.
That's a lot of money for even 3 days worth of heating a
I
building
mean,
up.
Well, they had to get the plumber in there too, he said, to turn the water and stuff back on.
Yeah, I mean, it's,
Oh, it was more than oil.
sure.
Because it was shut right down.
Okay.
So they had to get a plumber in there to turn everything back
I mean,
on. And then they had to get a plumber back in there to shut everything back off.
it's quaint, but it, you know.
What we, I think the only thing we can do is to bring it to the town again. And I personally, as the presiding officer, I don't want to have the presidential primary, which is every 4 years, in that hall. I mean, we had such a fiasco, I think we finally figured it out and got the fire station paid, but that was another,
Yeah.
Actually, we did. They sent us another bill. Like, I'm pretty sure Dave said they sent us another bill for like $400. So he's not paying it. But you could call him and ask him. I think that's what he told us at the last
who was that?
meeting. Jay Wilson's, he's fire department treasurer.
What's
Okay.
that bill for?
Are they,
Oh, the phone lines get all screwed up. They billed the fire department for hooking those phones into the Union Hall instead of billing the town for it.
because their directory has the fire station's number
As town
as the
information.
town, Newfane Town
Oh,
Hall. That's the number.
We ended up having to put a answering machine in there that says this is not for the town. This is not the town clerk's office or not the town of
At
Newfane.
the fire station?
Yeah.
Well, I probably spent, the town clerk probably spent 2 full weeks interacting. We have, with the town and the fire station, there are 4 different companies, and they can't touch this phone number, who can't touch that phone number, who can't touch this one. Prayerfully, we have it resolved for next year. For next year, the town office will only be the 7772.
So, I mean, part of the problem is it's more than having the town meeting there, which, can be a quaint experience. There's much more involved as far as just even the utilities, but as far as it being official election hall or whatever.
See, the same things with the Williams Hall.
Right.
You gotta turn heat on there, you gotta get a plumber in there, and you gotta plow it all out with down equipment to get it opened up.
Right.
That's why I still don't understand why they don't do it down at school where the parking lot's plowed out, it's all handicap accessible, and it's all on one floor.
Yeah, maybe we need to
Bring it up again.
bring it up again, or
I mean, because it
get,
needs to be more
people in the-
inclusive, I think.
I mean, Sally Topser said to me today that people say, they're not gonna go particularly to Williamsville, but I think to either of them, because they don't have parking. And we are an increasingly aging population here,
Yeah.
and to have it so that it's quaint is nice, but not for the price. I wonder if we can get people who really want it at the school to bring it in as a, get a petition going instead of just us bringing it up.
We dealt with those pay orders over there in that pile.
That,
Yes,
we have to read them.
Yeah, we haven't read.
that's what I think we
That
should
was
get
gonna
to
be
that.
included in it.
So that came from the.
This
We
one.
need, we need.
Make a motion, I make a motion that we go ahead and, okay, paying the village,
Yeah.
Second.
And if we have any money left, I didn't pay any election officials.
does the money come out of this for that?
Well, that's what I'm saying, we took the phone finally out of that.
Uh-huh.
And if not, I guess it has to come from that miscellaneous. See, and that was last year's.
But if there's
we
money
still
for it, this should come out of there.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't there for that purpose, but there was some money on a line item for elections, election officials.
Didn't we have this conversation? Where does the money for this come out of? What line item? What line item? Okay. So,
Well, the motion's been made and seconded to pay the bill that we got from the village trustees for opening up the Union Hall for town meeting. Any more discussion on it? All those in favor say aye.
aye.
Anybody opposed or abstaining? 4-0 in favor.
Who seconded that?
Chris? Now we're pay orders.
What you do to them?
No, it's fine.
Okay. You read them, I'll check them.
Trifold. Category reformer, $784.10.
Yep.
Melissa Brown, $160. Brown Roberts Hardware,
Chainsaw repair.
$49.48. Mr. Sassamo, $528.
Mm-hmm.
Hot Systems, $223.
Yep.
Coin Textile Services,
Uniforms.
$230.72.
Yep.
D&G Hydraulic Hoses, $175.48. DB Environmental Consulting, $1,900.
Yep.
Landfill sampling. And Delta Dental, $801.16.
Mm-hmm.
Earthlink Business, one of the four, $177.39.
Mm-hmm.
To the Fish and Wildlife, $663.50. Napa Auto Parts, $21.98.
Right along, where, let's see, Napa.
Oh, maybe it's Franklin, this is Napa, does it say Franklin on it?
Yeah, that would be that.
Franklin, okay. 2198?
Yes.
Got it, okay.
Somehow, that looked a lot bigger to me.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Even with my calculators. FR Lafayette Inc.,
Bandriel.
$1,241.
Yep.
Second one from Lafayette, $8,651.50.
Mm-hmm.
Newfane Greenhouse,
Okay.
$911.68.
This is, oh, you signed it.
Fred's Rubbish,
Yep.
$50. Just a question on this particular one. Fred's Rubbish picks up around the recycle bins. For example, if in a week, like 1 month, 2 months ago, they didn't pick anything up 1 week.
He should just bill us for 3 weeks, right?
See, that's what I was wondering. I mean, it was a couple of weeks ago, and I said, well, it was before Maureen left, and she said she just pays, but stayed out there. Vermont Water, $20, or Leader Distribution Systems,
Mm-hmm.
$20.50. Maybe Bridge Insure, $3,535.72. MVP. Doesn't have one of those. What it is. $8,227.98.
Mm-hmm.
Nemrick is $1,181.78.
Mm-hmm.
Patriot Properties, $2,750. Freighter Patriot, $367.44. Another one from Patriot, $60.35.
Yeah.
Petty cash reconciliation,
Postage.
$79.54.
Yeah.
P.O. Box, I guess, so it's the,
Box rent.
yeah, box rent, $70.
Mm-hmm.
Reed's Rubbish, $81. And Rescue Inc., $3,768.47. Safety Clean, or is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See.
like to make green work. $409.18. Snell, $43.16, and $42.64,
Yeah,
and $399.
yeah.
Staples, some teeth in here. $247.30. State Line Truck, $100.84. Application for a notary.
Yeah, for Pat.
Yep, $30.
Yes, the next meeting.
SB
Put it in
Associates,
Tom's box.
They're gonna take it and talk to Pat. I
Yeah.
know,
Maureen.
$3,509.15. So this was a topographic survey on County Brook Road.
Who was it for?
SVE.
SVE for
So we have
Hunter Brooker, right now.
Hunter Brook Bridge Survey, Hunter Brook Walk Survey?
I don't know. They're the ones that are doing the bridge, the new bridge.
Right.
They finished Hickey Road, but they built for Hunter Brook Road.
Oh, so that's what this is. Hickey,
Yeah.
it's work, they had to do a topographical map for A&R. So before we do any more work in the river.
Okay, so,
And it's within
That should
that
be FEMA.
contract, I'm sure.
Yeah.
yeah, it says flood work.
Yeah.
And also $3,276.79.
Yeah,
And Times Argus,
yeah.
$65. Vermont Center for Independent Living, that's an appropriation, $220.
Yeah.
It would be good to get that until October. Vermont Elevating, $150. Wyndham Regional, $2,003.
Yep.
WW, $2.56. Look at all of that paper for $2.56.
I know. Gloria, go back underneath Delta Dental. Do you recall doing state police of $1,345.39? I don't either.
Yeah.
So I'm still holding for that one. So it would be right underneath, theoretically underneath Delta Dental. There it is, it's attached to it, okay.
Oh, good. That wasn't necessary, is it? Department of Public Safety, $1,345.39.
We are done.
And somewhere along we better, I think, thank Elaine for,
Yeah.
I mean, this kind of work that she's juggling
Yeah.
on very short notice. It's a lot more than just coming
We're
in.
lucky to get her.
Very lucky.
Fortunate.
Everything works out.
I move to approve pay orders.
Seconded?
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the pay orders. All those in favor?
Aye.
No opposed or abstaining, 4-0. I'd like to go into executive session for about 5 minutes or less here.
Okay.
Something that we talked about the last meeting that Gloria and Chris were here. But as far as BCTV and the reformer goes, the meeting's basically over except for executive session, so.
Do you have any question that will help?
I missed the first 5 minutes, so,
You didn't miss
dealing
one.
with the Stratton Hill, nothing,
Stratton Hill,
yeah.
the V-Trans is gonna help us out with that now.
Oh,
They're gonna take the lead on trying to get that, slide, engineered,
yeah. Okay.
so that we can start working on it.
Can I just show him your report
Sure.
since it's public?
Oh, thanks. Yep.
Anybody else got any questions or comments while BCTV's still here?
Hi,
Thank you, BCTV.
how's BCTV doing?
Say goodbye to Shannon, BCTV.
Yeah.
Bye, Shannon.